Bloomberg is reporting that Australia is going to approve Bitcoin Spot ETFs this year. And don't forget, this coming week, Hong Kong is launching their ETFs and London will be launching theirs in May. Folks, we're seeing game theory playing out here for Bitcoin and crypto. And Vitalik Buterin makes some big statements saying that Ethereum, when it was using proof of work, was quite centralized. What does this mean for the SEC's case against the Ethereum Foundation and consensus? We're going to break this down and much more. Let's get into it. Hey everybody, welcome into the Thinking Crypto podcast, your home for cryptocurrency news and interviews. On your way in, hit that subscribe button as well as the thumbs up button and leave a comment below. If you're listening on a podcast platform such as Spotify or Apple, please leave a 5-star rating and review. Well, folks, we got to talk about the breaking news, which was just broke by Bloomberg this evening. The headline reads, Bitcoin ETF bandwagon heads to Australia after $53 billion haul in the United States. Here's the TLDR. Australia's top exchange expected to approve the ETFs in 2024. Self-managed pension assets could flow into the new products. Folks, I'm so bullish. I don't know if you're feeling bearish because the price has pulled back a bit, but that's normal in a bull market. But I'm so bullish. I am seeing adoption and world governments embracing crypto, not banning it, and they're approving Bitcoin ETFs. We know the United States was not the first to launch spot ETFs. Canada, I think, was the first. There's some other smaller countries that did it. But guys, we are seeing a bunch of other countries follow the United States' lead here. And of course, Hong Kong is launching their Bitcoin and Ethereum spot ETF this week, April 30th, Tuesday, April 30th. And London, if you guys recall, they're targeting May 28th for their Bitcoin and Ethereum spot ETFs. So Australia, they're on the horizon, so get ready for game theory to play out here and many other countries to follow suit. And I've often stated that crypto is the first global asset class that anybody across the world with an internet connection can buy a fraction, whether it be Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Cardano, whatever it is, and you can be a part of the financial network. And what's different than any other asset class in the past is you can see it real time. You know about the finite supply. It's verifiable. It's real time. It's on the blockchain. And it's instantaneous 24/7 trading. So there's never been anything like that in the history of the world from a financial asset standpoint. So incredible stuff here, folks. This is huge bullish news. And I'm so excited. Now, Bloomberg is gating the content, but I'll try to read the initial part of this article here. Australia is set for a wave of Bitcoin exchange traded fund launches, following in the footsteps of the United States and Hong Kong, as issuers like Van Eck Associates Corporations and Beta Shares Holdings Party line up for listings. ASX Limited, which handles around 4/5 of the country's equity trading, is expected to approve the first spot Bitcoin ETFs for the main board before the end of 2024, according to people familiar with the matter. Folks, I am so bullish. This is what you want to see, right? And the party's not over. I keep telling people, if you look at the charts, Bitcoin is still in a uptrend. Yes, we have a pullback, but it's not unlike anything we've not seen in the past. We've seen major pullbacks, 30% and so forth, in a bull market on the way up. So we just recently in March, broke through the old all-time high of 69,000. We set a new high around 74, and now it's pulled back. Healthy, right? The RSI looks like it hasn't bottomed out here in the daily chart. Oh, that's okay. It's going to go down a bit more. Find that bottom and bounce. And the DXY, a good sign is it looks like it's breaking down. Its RSI is breaking down. That's a good sign for risk assets. And you know what's going to happen as Bitcoin pumps, guys. We're going to see altcoins start to move. So Rect Capital, a great analyst put out a chart here showing the possible movement of the altcoin market cap. And he said it is still holding the $250 billion support line, positioning itself for a future move to the upside via the black pathways. So he gave a great chart outline here, and it just shows like a short-term move upward, another pullback to retest that support line, then to move upwards. Market cycles, folks. I can't overemphasize this. This is normal. This is healthy. This is bullish. We have to build support levels for things to keep moving up. And here we got some news from BlackRock. Eric Balchunas of Bloomberg highlighted that BlackRock just filed an update for its IBIT, its Bitcoin spot ETF. Lindsay Haswell of MoonPay is joining the board of directors of the fund, replacing Keeman Lee. So we're seeing some fine tuning, bringing in of crypto experts and much more. This is a race, and everybody wants to win that race, right? Because there's fees to be made here. In addition, as the demand for Bitcoin and crypto continues to grow globally. And Michael Saylor is continuing his Bitcoin for Corporations initiative. He's been doing this for years. He said, "We're excited to host the Bitcoin for Corporations in Las Vegas next week. Please join MicroStrategy in person or tune into our live stream to explore the future of Bitcoin as a capital asset and delve into corporate Bitcoin technology initiatives." And folks, there have been some reporting laws that have been updated that allow more companies to do this now, to put Bitcoin in their balance sheet. The name escapes me at the moment, but there was a law that was approved. It's like a fiduciary thing, and it makes it easy for corporations. Remember, Michael Saylor was the one who convinced Elon Musk to add Bitcoin to Tesla and SpaceX's balance sheet, and he still holds a good amount on those balance sheets. So, folks, this is going to be a big thing. And I think not only corporations are going to do it, but we're going to see governments. If you all recall, Arizona last month was looking into getting a bill passed that would allow them to access the Bitcoin ETFs and use it for their pensions and reserves and so forth. It's amazing when I see news like this, and it starts with Bitcoin. Eventually, it will go down the list to altcoins, right? Bitcoin's the doorway. We've seen this. Bitcoin's the brand and the most trusted crypto from a traditional finance standpoint. So they're going to start with Bitcoin, but as the asset class matures, they're going to diversify into altcoins. We already see that with the Ethereum spot ETF in play. Now, let's take a look at the top trending tokens on social media. This data is brought to you by Santiment, which is a great partner of the channel. If you'd like to get a pro account with Santiment, you can sign up with the link in the description. You can use the code ThinkingCrypto to get a discount. So first that is trending is Ethereum with positive sentiment. Coming in at number 2 is Masa, with, wow, 100% positive sentiment. Number 3, we got ETHFi coming in with positive sentiment. Number 4, Velo. That's been actually trending a lot lately with positive sentiment. Then you have at number 5 here, Nano. Blast from the past, although its negative sentiment is at 44% and its positive sentiment at 43%. So people not happy with Nano. Then Life, I have not heard of this, but its positive to negative sentiment ratio is not great. Positive sentiment at 45%, negative at 42%. Ethereum Classic, another blast from the past. Its positive sentiment at 47%, negative at 36%. USDT on Avalanche coming in at number 8 here with positive sentiment. Dogecoin, another meme coin here coming in at number 9 with positive sentiment. And finally, Litecoin, another blast from the past, coming in with positive sentiment. So those are your top 10 trending tokens. Now let's talk about Ethereum, folks, because we got some interesting news coming from Vitalik Buterin, who's of course the creator of the Ethereum blockchain. Vitalik Buterin says that Ethereum's proof of work was quite centralized and a temporary stage until proof of stake. Now, there's a lot to unpack here. I'm sure many of you know, especially XRP holders who've been following the ETH situation and all the nonsense that's been going on. Remember, Bill Hinman under the Jay Clayton administration of the SEC said, Ethereum is decentralized, sufficiently decentralized. But at that point, it was on proof of work. So the fact that Buterin is coming out and saying this certainly shows that he's trying to play towards the SEC, because the SEC is investigating the Ethereum Foundation. I believe they filed a lawsuit against Consensus. And look, Consensus is countersuing them as well. So it's a complete mess. And this is what happens when Congress hasn't acted and you have a scumbag regulator like Gary Gensler who's gone rogue, right? And look, there's a lot to talk about, because some people are saying this whole investigation by the SEC is to cover up the past. Maybe it is. I don't know, but it could certainly be framed that way. And we know Bill Hinman had conflicts of interest, right? I don't have a hidden agenda. There's people who don't want to talk about Bill Hinman, and there's people who overemphasize Bill Hinman and everything like that, right? So I'm in the middle of the road looking at both facts. I'm not emotionally worked up. I'm not here to go after Vitalik or whoever. I just state facts. And that's my goal, to bring the facts to you guys, and can you make your decisions and come to your conclusions, folks, right? I don't want to lie or frame things where, I'm trying to gaslight people. But what Vitalik is doing here, based on the history and what Bill Hinman did and saying Ethereum is not a security, is kind of weird, because Are you saying Bill Hinman lied? That Bill Hinman didn't know what he was doing? So this goes back to what I've been seeing for years. They may throw Bill Hinman under the bus saying he's the drunk uncle that said all these things and we had nothing to do with it, even though we know Bill Hinman met with Vitalik, met with Joe Lubin and so forth. But I think, Gary Gensler, this may be a smokescreen to delay that Ethereum spot ETF. I don't think they're going to win anything in court here. It's just going to further expose the SEC and their shenanigans. Remember, I don't really care if it was Vitalik or some other guy, ABC, whoever, go down the list, right? What I do care about is the agency that used my tax dollars to do this nonsense, right? That they gave Ethereum that free pass and an unfair advantage. What about the rest of the tokens in the market? That's what comes back to. And that's where Jay Clayton and Bill Hinman are hypocrites, Gary Gensler and so forth. And it goes back to the SEC as an agency is rotten at its core, and they continue to attack the industry and do all types of things, lies, break the law, they get sanctioned, they get called arbitrary and capricious. So the SEC itself needs to be cleaned up and Congress needs to act because this is messy. I understand why Vitalik is doing this because he's trying to protect his work, right? So I get it from a human standpoint. Obviously, I don't agree with everything Vitalik does and Joe Lubin, but my gripe goes back to the SEC and what they've been doing. And this is why we have to keep amplifying the facts and highlight these things. So the fact that Vitalik is saying this is so weird, man. But anyway, let me give you the details. Users had noted on social media platform X that numerous Ethereum community members wished the network stayed with proof of work instead of proof of stake. That sentiment received pushback from the man who first proposed the creation of Ethereum in 2013 at the age of 19. Here's a quote: "Proof of work was quite centralized," Buterin explained. "It was just not talked about as much because everyone knew it was only a temporary stage until proof of stake. And that doesn't even get into how we probably mostly avoided ASICs only because the upcoming proof of stake switch meant no incentive to build them." Now, that is directly contrarian to what Bill Hinman said. It's sufficiently decentralized, right? It's not a security. And Jay Clayton rubber stamped it. But look, we need Congress to act. This is a mess. What a mess. This is just unbelievable. But I'm here to expose the liars at the SEC and all the fraudsters. So take this for what it is, folks. And once again, I think Vitalik is trying to fight his case here because of these lawsuits, trying to protect his blockchain, but history and the facts are not on his side with this statement. All right, folks, quick word from our sponsor, and that is Uphold, which is a great crypto platform that you can buy Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, and all the top altcoins, folks. I've been using this platform since 2018. They have 260 plus cryptocurrencies. You can also trade precious metals on this platform, such as gold, silver, palladium, and platinum. They are available in over 150 countries. They support a lot of different fiat currencies, and they have top of the level security and much more. They have a vault product, which allows you to easily back up your private key. So you can check that out where you still control everything. But in case you lose some part of your private key, they have everything backed up and can help you recover your funds. And they are fully reserved. They have transparency reports and audit reports so they don't commingle or lend out your funds and all that nonsense. So if you'd like to learn more about Uphold, check out the link in the description. Folks, we got news here that Binance founder Changpeng Zhao, also known as CZ, apologizes ahead of sentencing. 160 others send letters of support. Now, we know Binance and CZ were the king of the hill from an exchange standpoint, and all the world governments were going after them, right? Even if they weren't doing any type of AML or didn't have any AML issues back in the day, in the Wild West of the crypto days, I still think governments would have found a way to take it down because they felt that Binance was definitely controlled by the Chinese government. And then if you have BlackRock and Wall Street coming in, you can't have this big exchange running the market, right? It's geopolitics. There's many layers to this. So I hope CZ doesn't have to go to jail. Once again, he didn't do any fraud, and Binance is paying its fine for the AML issues, right? Which is just anti-money laundering. And that it all goes back to mostly taxes. They want you to they want to know everything. What are you doing with crypto? And they want to tax you, right? I think that's a majority of it. They'll put all types of narratives on top of this, but it goes back to that. But let's see. I think they should just let him go. Like, he surrendered. He's still here in the United States and been cooperating. So, but we'll see. Maybe he does have to go to jail. Maybe he serves like 18 months. I don't know. But this is nowhere near the level of what Sam Bankman-Fried did. I mean, complete opposite, right? Night and day here. All right, folks. Last item, we got some funding news. So it's really great to look at this news to see where the liquidity, where the capital is coming into, which projects it's going into, whether that's crypto companies or coins. So you want to know about all these things as an investor, right? You want to look at the market holistically, charts, fundamentals, who's investing, what capital is coming in, macro factors. That's what I try to share here with you guys on this podcast. So two more restaking related protocols announced funding rounds this week as venture investors look to gain exposure to EigenLayer's burgeoning system or ecosystem. Aligned Layer announced $20 million Series A led by Hack VC. The round also drew participation from a spate of smaller crypto-focused venture firms. Aligned Layer plans to launch as an actively validated service, AVS, on EigenLayer. AVSs are products secured via EigenLayer's restaking, which is a means of putting staked Ether to use outside of securing Ethereum, drawing an extra layer of usage out of the capital, providing Ethereum's security. All right, let's jump ahead. The next one here is also this week, Authentic announced a $4 million seed funding led by Finality and Briar Capital. Authentic offers a software stack that helps AVS developers spin up a distributed system based on EigenLayer's shared security model. This week's largest fundraiser came from Movement Labs, which raised $38 million Series A led by Polychain. Movement Labs is launching a Layer 2 named Movement, which makes use of the Move software stack developed by Facebook as part of its ill-fated blockchain push. The programming language Move is used today by Layer 1 blockchains Aptos and Sui. UI, some of you know about that. Movement will be Ethereum virtual machine EVM compatible, meaning programs written on Ethereum can be deployed on the Layer 2. Other notable funding news include Turnkey raising $15 million for a wallet service or a wallet infrastructure service. Pantera is looking to raise $1 billion for a new crypto fund. That's Dan Moorhead. I had Dan Moorhead on the podcast years ago, and he was one of the first to invest, one of the first investment hedge funds, VC firms to invest in crypto. He was ahead of the game. I'm a big fan of Dan Moorhead, and I'll try to get him back on the podcast. Founders Fund revealed an investment in the Alliance Crypto Accelerator. Prime Intellect unveiled a $5.5 million raise for decentralized AI development infrastructure. The Shiba Inu meme coin raised $12 million via a token sale from non-US VCs, the block reported. Carve raised $10 million led by Tribe Capital and IOSG Ventures for a modular data layer. Folks, capital is coming in. If you're an entrepreneur, innovator, get at it. Put together your pitch deck, right? Go to these VCs and investment firms. And I'm certainly looking at, what can I do here to partake and get capital and try to build something. Obviously, I don't want to play games and just put something together for the sake of just getting money. I want to have an idea, a solution, a product that makes sense, that can have potential. So I'm personally looking into this. So I would highly recommend many of you, especially if you're a developer or you've been in tech in a while, you may see something that could be built here, a solution, and get something off the ground, raise some multiple rounds, and who knows, be a really successful. Anyway, folks, that's the news. Be sure to check out my book, Rethinking Crypto, The Crash of FTX and the Rise of Safer, Stronger Digital Assets. It's on Amazon in paperback and digital. Please grab a copy to support the podcast. If you also you can give this as a gift to someone who wants to learn about crypto. It documents crypto's past, present, and future, breaks it down in layman's terms, talks about the regulatory battle, talks about why FTX was not the ethos of crypto, talks about BlackRock and the ETF race and tokenization and what the future of crypto looks like. And folks, I also have a book signing event coming up on Tuesday, April 30th, same day the Hong Kong Bitcoin ETFs are launching. So it's a free event in New York City. I'll put a link in the description. Check it out. Come get your book signed. You can buy a copy of the book at the event as well. Meet me, get some food, get some wine, and we could talk a bit about crypto and hang out, guys. And the venue is a great place. It's a Web3 hub, and the building that it's in is right across the street from the Wall Street bull. So we're doing this in the financial district, guys. So this is the future of finance, which is going to replace TradFi, and TradFi will be put on the blockchain. We know that's coming. So folks, check it out, support the podcast, grab a copy of the book. I appreciate you all. Thank you for watching and listening, and I'll talk to you all later.